Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Elliot Brown here in the Essex Business Radio studio, where I'm talking to people absolutely everywhere about how they are coping with COVID-19, coronavirus, however you want to class it, what they're doing to pivot and change, not just in their business, but in their personal life, and ideas and tips and advice they may have for you guys out there on a personal and a professional level. And joining me today from the edge of Essex, so we are Essex, but in Barking Dagenham, is Leighanne Turner from Leighanne's Voice. How you doing, Leighanne?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well indeed. Thank you very much.
Good.
And listen, you do have extremely good voice. So tell us why Leighanne's Voice?
So, uh, do you know what? I just wanted to talk about something that I'm skilled at.
Yeah,
And so it's Leighanne's Voice, and I do speaking coaching as well.
yeah.
So it's all about my voice, nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. What you hear is
Yeah.
what you get as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Um,
you do voiceover work and speaking training and stuff as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. So voiceover work and then speaking coaching for particularly women in business who need to learn how to speak more effectively,
Uh-huh.
either in interviews or business meetings or social networking events, or even if they've got to write their bride's best maids of honor speech for their best friend's wedding,
Right.
things like that. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Cool. I mean, that covers a lot of things. So a confidence, very much a confidence sort of area, really, isn't it?
definitely. Definitely.
Something that probably you and I don't necessarily lack in.
Probably need to
Although,
give a bit to someone else.
yeah, absolutely. However, I don't know about yourself, and
Mm,
you don't necessarily have to answer this, but even though I'm confident, I still have moments when I have to stand up in front of people where I
yeah,
have breathing techniques that I might use
yeah,
to sort of calm myself down, rise myself up, and make myself feel, like I'm ready and prepared. I'm
yeah.
assuming that's something that you sort of do with people, is it?
Definitely, yeah. Breathing is the 100% thing. The breathing is where the voice starts. It doesn't come from like in the back here of those two vocal cords. It actually starts from the stomach. So if you can't breathe properly, then you're not actually using your voice for its full capacity. So
Yeah.
definitely like what you're doing helps to make you feel calm, but it actually helps to produce a better quality voice, and it'll be more consistent. So you can last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or however long you need to speak for.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny actually because I did some training. I did some speaker training a year or two ago,
Mm,
and I've stood up in front of people, I've presented and things like that. So it was an add-on. It was a 2 to 3 day course,
yeah.
and actually, what I found by going through it, that I'd done actually a number of those things naturally anyway. For an
Mm,
example, and this may resonate with a few people. Before going into a meeting with a high level CEO or whatever many
yeah.
years ago, then I would go to the toilets first of all in that sort of building, and I would
Yeah.
stand in the toilets and I would literally do the breathing. And it wasn't until I went on this course that I realized that was something I did naturally. Um,
Yeah.
and again, you probably do these things naturally, but then trying
Mm,
to get somebody to do that, it does give you an incredible way of calming yourself down and raising
mm.
yourself up, doesn't it, to do that?
Yeah, definitely. The breathing is everything. Like if your body's like 70% water, the breathing is the next big chunk that you gotta kind of manage it. It is like what you say, like it's something to help calm you down, and it helps to refocus your mind so your brain can be in the game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And before we started recording, I said, this is really prevalent. I keep using the word prevalent. I think, let's hope it is the right word. But
Yeah.
right now, because although, we are actually, as we said before we started recording,
Mm,
distance ourselves from people, we're
yeah.
actually able to get closer to certain people through technology, through, Zoom like this,
Yeah.
like we're doing this podcasting, or Skype, or, whatever other, ways there are. Um,
Yeah.
so are you finding that you're doing training with people or speaking to people and helping them to maybe get themselves across in the right way on this sort of format, on this sort of platform?
Definitely. Like I've been doing loads more coaching sessions in regards to preparing for an online interview.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
because
interesting.
obviously, yeah, because when you're in a face-to-face interview, people can see more, they can catch your vibe, see
Yeah.
the body language, and it's
Yeah.
easier. But when you've cut off, like you're only getting like 30% of the body
Of
language,
course.
it's a lot you've got to be able to sell. You've got to be someone who can talk with the hands, be very expressive in the face, and
Yeah.
really be able to communicate you know, the depth, the knowledge, the passion that you have, all just through the voice. And you got to even just learn just to kind of look into the camera when you're talking, because
Yeah.
sometimes you only look at yourself. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at myself now, I'm
Yeah.
not looking at you. So
Yeah.
just these little tiny little things, just it's a training thing, because doing online interviews as compared to face, you can be a beast at face, but go online, technology's not working,
You
the
can be a
buzzer's
what?
going.
You
It's
could be a beast.
a beast at face-to-face interviews. Some people are really good at them.
I see
Some
what
of
you
them
mean. Sorry, I'm taking this
yeah.
out of context. I thought you were
Oh,
going to be a beast face to face, and you
oh
know, not
no,
good. I
like, you
see.
know, like hashtag beast mode. They're like really good at
Yeah,
face-to-face.
yeah, yeah. I get you. I get
They
you.
know they're going to give all the good questions, and know when they're going to sip the water.
Yeah,
But go on to do an online one, it's like, oh, where do I look in this camera? Down
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Oh, is this right? It can bring a lot of different insecurities out if you're not used to doing a lot of work on online and having it feeling like a support to you rather than like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah. So you working with people that are actually interviewing, or the
Yeah.
interviewee, or both?
Both.
Yeah.
So some people,
Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting.
yeah, you get, so I did a course actually about how to be effective at interviews, because you get two schools of people. You get good interviewers, you get absolutely rubbish interviewers, because there's not much training done for people who are interviewers,
Mm,
which would actually help, because the interviewer can often direct how the tone and mode of the interview is going to go.
of course.
But there's a lot more resources available for going to interviews. So I did a course and did some training with some of my people about, you know, just different techniques of just things like you said, go to the toilet, prepare yourself, breathe,
Yeah.
record yourself on audio. How do you actually sound? Record yourself on video. Get yourself ready mentally. Get the outfit ready. Can you actually sit down in that skirt? Do you know, stuff like that? It's
Yeah.
just things like preparing yourself, doing the prep work, because anyone can nail an interview. It's just about training. Like anyone can do anything, just as long as you've got training to do it. And an interview technique is something that I think is just as skillful as like doing your English, maths, and science at school. Because if you can have two different types of people. You can have someone who's on paper very skilled for the job. You think, oh my gosh, definitely going to interview this one. Then you can have someone who doesn't look that strong, but they can come in there and they're selling themselves, selling you water. You don't need water. They're selling you, because they're very good at selling themselves. So if
Yeah.
you cannot sell even your own self, then you're going to be less likely to be chosen to sell for this company, or
Of course.
work for this company, or negotiate for the big clients, because you can't even sell yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the thing as well. It's just to train people to see that yourself, you're an asset, you're a brand. Whether you're, you know, if you're not one of these big Instagram influencers, you're still a brand yourself.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well, you're still the person that they're seeing, aren't you? You're the front
Yeah,
face of the business, or the product, or the brand, or whatever it is. So
definitely.
how have things changed for you? I mean, were you doing a lot of sort of virtual work with people before? Has this
Mm-hmm.
changed how you're running the business?
Yeah, I would say I was doing a lot of virtual work before, but it's just increased now, because I think that more people are becoming user friendly to all the different online platforms like Zoom, GoToMeeting, all the different ones. So I'm
Yeah.
having much more training requests, like particularly doing online interviews and speaking, because
Okay.
a lot of people have worked out that, okay, that maybe their mainstream job is not paying out right now, but what else can they do? And a lot of
Uh-huh.
people want to go into the digital product market, which can be audio books. They want to sell courses. They want to start doing training, because people have realized, okay, they may have a 9 to 5, but they've got other skills they want to do. So got other people who sell creative stuff. So someone who shows is someone at the moment is showing how they make masks from
Right.
recycled products.
Okay.
So that person is trying to create webinars, but they're really good and skilled at making masks, but actually expressing how do you make the mask. That's where she needs to train how to express, how to speak. Obviously,
Interesting.
take the mask off, because you can't hear the mask on, but take the mask off and just explain how this is how you make it. It's really simple. Da, 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 da. So I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot more training of people who are now opening up their eyes to the online market and seeing it's not just something for Google, YouTube, or Instagram pictures. It's actually a huge industry that is still, it's not been dominated as much as it can be, I think.
Yeah. No, I absolutely think you're right, and I think this is going to rocket things,
Mm.
very quickly, or it already is. But I think now
Yeah,
that we're into, as I keep saying, phase two, or the extension
yeah,
of our lockdown, this is where it
yeah,
really sort of bedding in now. People were maybe thinking, oh, it's a bit of an extended holiday.
yeah.
Now they're starting to consider how this is really changed. This really is the sort of new normal,
Hmm.
and we've got to embrace it. A lot of people I spoke to in the last few weeks and said to have done
Yeah,
40 podcasts already. We're already pivoting and changing, but I think
yeah,
there's going to be another wave now of people really getting to grips with the fact that we have got to make some sort of changes and make the most of
yeah.
this, because in a
Mhm.
few weeks' time we could be going, well, who knows where we're going to be. Um,
Yeah.
how's this affected your sort of your personal life and stuff like that? I mean, how's it affected your home life?
Do you know what? I'm actually staying. Well, I usually work from home anyway because my studio and stuff, everything's all built up at home.
Yeah,
So that time frame hasn't really changed. But obviously, in the evenings, I'd usually kind of go out, go meet my friends, go to church on Sundays and stuff, and just go out for. I go out for walks. Thank goodness Boris allows us to go out for walks.
yeah,
But I'm much more conscious of the physically seeing people. Yes, Zoom and all these online stuff are great, but I actually miss hugs.
yeah. It's
Miss
funny.
that.
It's been
Hugs.
mentioned a few times. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a human needs physical touch, or else they just give you birth and say you can go on, bye. But
yeah,
you actually need you need physical contact to feel, I don't know, human. I
yeah.
do,
Yeah,
definitely.
no, and I think we all do. I mean, if we may have
Mm,
the closest family members to us that we can sort of still do that with. But I was
yeah.
talking to somebody only a few days ago, and she had to break the news about to her father that his
Mm,
twin had passed away, and had to do it
oh,
at a distance, which really
yeah,
sort of brought it home to me. To be honest, it was
yeah,
I hadn't thought about it like that. Uh,
yeah. It's hard.
he's obviously elderly, and
Yeah,
it's just that really does sort of really ram it home.
yeah. It does.
The dynamics of how we're all going to communicate and things are likely to change for the short term future anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's listen, as I said, we're definitely in the new world now, in the new normal.
yeah.
But
Definitely.
we've just got to deal with it. I think
Yeah.
to be stemming the flow of deaths and things like that in the UK. It appears so
Mhm.
by the
Mm.
numbers. And I don't really want to get into that in too much detail,
Mm.
but we seem to be doing that, so we could be getting closer to some sort of new normal.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think things are going to be like?
I think, although I just see a vision of, like, although we're going to have more, from what I've heard, there's going to be more physical distancing. I think it's going to be bringing people socially a bit closer together. That's what I've noticed with people just saying hi to me and stuff like that in the parks.
Yes.
Because I notice I'm born and bred here, but London is a place, it's got every single culture in the whole world.
Yeah.
Everybody is here. Go on the train, you hear all type of languages happening. Everybody is here. But we don't talk to each other
No.
in London.
No.
No
Who does?
way.
You can walk past 1,000 people, and not one of them will look you in the eye.
No, no. They'll shoulder you off poof, and then not even say sorry. But
Yeah.
no one actually talks or engages and stuff. And when you do, it's like, don't talk to me. I've got my
Yeah.
headphones on, But I've noticed that change, and this is the good part of the new type of normal, whatever our normal is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think London in particular is begging for people to talk because it's one of the biggest cities, busiest cities, but it's got the highest level of isolation,
Yeah.
suicide, particularly in young people. It is a huge, big, busy city. Everybody wants to be here, but it can be very lonely for people who don't have a social community here to keep them grounded. And particularly now, times of isolation, those that are already isolated are even further retreating, I think,
Absolutely.
sadly, into more isolation, whatever that means for different people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this new type of normal, I just take each day as it comes. Do you know what I mean? I get up and I'll take each day as it comes.
I think community was the word there for sure. That
Yeah.
definitely is, and you're absolutely right. I definitely noticed that people will nod and say hello a lot more. If I go for a
Yeah.
run, somebody's running in the opposite direction, you'll actually get a nod and a hello now, even though we may run around each other, which you wouldn't have necessarily done before.
Yeah.
So that distance has created more a general closeness.
Closeness. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get ya.
Which is, but also I find that in business as well. I mean, had I not have put this post out and got so much interest, in a group on Facebook, I wouldn't have spoken to the
Yeah.
people I'd have spoken to, in the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks as well. So it is interesting. I definitely see a business community and a world community getting closer together in
Yeah.
probably different levels of business and different areas. Like as soon as I spoke to you again, the sort of people I attracted, that from however I worded on that post, definitely seems to have attracted the same sort of mindset, the same sort of people, which means that at some stage we can pass business between each other. I'm creating a community again, like a bit of a community
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I think it's a great positive thing to come out of this, don't you?
Definitely, definitely. Like, it's a big change that we've needed. Maybe we didn't know how to get it, but it was a big change that we definitely or desperately needed as well. Yeah, community, definitely.
Community is definitely the word, definitely. So what advice do you have for people out there at the moment, with this new phase, the next phase of lockdown? What sort of ideas and advice have you got for anybody, whether it be on a speaking or whether from a personal point of view? Fill your boots.
Yeah, I think both ways. If you're like at home more, I mean, I think people have now gotten over the excitement of getting on Amazon Prime and Netflix to catch up on their series.
Yeah.
I think that time has gone. And I do think like just starting to upskill themselves. Everybody can just like go on YouTube, all of those other like platforms like Skillshare, Udemy, start learning something, because there's so much stuff to learn. And like write down some goals, like, okay, today is whatever date. Out of this week or this one, I want to read one book, I want to up in this skill, I want to improve this, start this new trend or stop this habit. Come out with like 3 to 5 goals of a new improved post C-19 version of you, because there's a reason why you're woken up each day to do something. Like, okay, we ain't finished with you, I want you to do this, I need you to improve in this skill. There's always something new to learn, because life is about learning. It's how much you choose. You want to sit at the front of the class and learn, you want to sit at the back and muck about with everybody else. So it's all about like learning. What do you want to learn? What do you want to change? That's what I think, like on that level. And like in regards to definitely for people to kind of just see like, okay, the world ain't ending. I know people are giving out those scaremonger videos on like WhatsApp groups and YouTube and all that. I mean, be very careful like what you watch, because whatever you put in can stay in. And I think just really use this time as a time of stillness. There is never any time of stillness in London, never in probably the whole world. But use the time of stillness to really reflect on like, what is it your life is doing? Are you doing the dreams that you were put on here on earth to do? Everybody has a dream. Sometimes our dreams may interact and stuff and interlink and stuff, but everybody has their own unique dream and plan for their life. And you've got to think, are you doing it, or are you just hiding behind your busy 9 to 5, busy family life, busy commitment life? Are you really sitting down? Because now is the time to sit and think, okay, I'm whatever age I am. This is the dreams that I've got in my heart. Am I doing it? How can I do it? Even just do one little step each day, because this is the time to do it. If not, who knows? Because you don't want to be that person. I always listen to Les Brown. You don't want to be that person on your deathbed and your dreams are all surrounding you and saying, we were given to you. You were supposed to build this tower. You were supposed to build this business. I don't want to have that conversation on my deathbed. I just want to sleep off. Do you know what I mean? So I always think, look at this time of stillness and think, okay, how can you do better, be better after this? Because like times are going to change. Like people have lived through wars, all different terror things and things. I look back and think, okay, this is what I changed for myself. And then definitely like that's personally, and then professionally, just myself, I just love that we can all connect through different technologies and stuff like that, and we can really support each other. Like what you mentioned about the community. There has not been a community I've found or felt in London in 30 odd years. It's a long time that you can knock your neighbor, hang out your neighbor's house. Definitely.
It's very true. It's very
definitely true. Like I was raised in that time scale where you could give the spare key to your neighbor, and you go when you come in from school, you get the key from your neighbor. But now, but I really just definitely think that just really advise people, just of course stay home, stay safe, but when you're staying home, do something to really bring out a new and improved you. Whatever dreams you've got in your heart that you went to sleep with and you woke up with them, those are the ones to work on. Do one little thing each day, definitely, and you'll get
Excellent.
there. You'll come out and you'll be like, I don't know, like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly.
That's it. That's it. Perfect. I love that. I love that.
Mm.
I love your outlook, and there's definitely a lot to be taken from what you've said. Thank you very much for your time. I definitely want to get to know you more, so we'll do that. We'll definitely be chatting off air. And
Good.
so where can people find you, Leighanne?
Yes, I am online all the time. You can get me on Instagram, Leighanne's Voice, Twitter, Lee the Voice. Get me on my website, www.leighannesvoice.com. And obviously, I'm on Facebook, Leighanne's Voice. Everything is Leighanne's Voice on
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Connect with me, hang out. Now is the time. Everyone's got time to respond to emails. No one's too busy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm on all of those platforms, and you can email me as well. If I didn't get back to you, I always get back to people. I don't like when people email and they don't return the emails, but I'm on all of those social platforms. I respond back myself. These fingers respond back to you. And so let's connect, definitely. Now's the time to really connect and really have a community.
Absolutely, definitely, and I'll make sure that there's a link around the post that we put out on social media. You'll of course share this out on your through your network of people as well, won't you, for us?
Definitely, yeah.
Great stuff. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. There's a lot to be taken from what you said there, and and all sorts of bits and pieces in there, tips wise, and ideas that I think is going to help lots of people. So again, thank you very much, Leighanne. Really appreciate your time, and I'm going to sign off for now. So it's ciao for now, brown
All
cow.
right.